Hey y'all, it's Jeff Risdon with the Detroit Lions podcast and Lions Wire. And I'm doing a little bit of a solo show here. This is a draft one. I'm going to talk about the 5 players that I want the Lions to draft at number 28 and the 3 that I would not want them to take. So without further ado, let's get on this. Real simple. Lay out the ground rules before we go on to this. By the way, it is Good Friday. You'll probably be watching this on Saturday, but for those of you who celebrate the Christian faith, have a great one. Enjoy the Easter weekend. I'm hoping to as well. It is draft prep time, however, for me, so that's a big part of it. With the NFL draft coming up next Thursday. It's a little busy time here, and I haven't been on in a little bit. Wound up going on vacation for a while, and unfortunately, the hotel I stayed at while I was with my daughter and my wife, trapped in a hotel room with them for 9 days in a row. We did some college visits with my daughter, and the hotel where we were for most of that time, the Wi-Fi was awful. It took a good 2 minutes to upload a single photo when I was doing stuff for Lions Wire. So it just wasn't feasible to do anything live or even record and then upload. And by the time you would have gotten to it, it would have been dated. So that's why the gap is there. Chris and I are hoping to do a live show this weekend, and we'll have another one for you before the draft. And then during the draft, we'll have a ton of stuff. But let's get on to this. The 5 players that are my favorites if the Lions take them at number 28, or move up a little bit. These are not in any order. They're in the order that I wrote them down. You can cheat sheet. Need that sometimes. First up, Donovan Jackson. Okay, I might have lied. He might be my favorite. The Ohio State offensive lineman. He was their left guard. He was very, very good at left guard. He was one of the best guards in the draft. Then Josh Simmons got hurt, and Jackson moved to left tackle. And after a really rough first game, by the way, he had to go against Abdul Carter, who is probably the best defensive player in this draft. If it's not Travis Hunter, it's certainly him. In his very first time ever playing left tackle, gave up 2 sacks in that game. After that, didn't give up a sack. Beyond that, he didn't give up a single hurry in the entire college football playoff. And oh, by the way, Ohio State happened to win the title. That's pretty good. That means he's going up against high-level competition, and he shut them down. And the way he did it, it looked very natural for tackle. Now, one of the things that we're seeing with the Lions, they need a potentially a left guard. But if you can get a guy who can be your left guard for a couple of years, and then when Taylor Decker moves on or his contract expires or whatever, he can move to left tackle. That's an easy selling point. I love his footwork. I love his length. I love his snarl. This is a guy who is a 4-time academic All Big Ten. His parents are both, very successful people. He comes from a great background. Really, really bright guy. Just fits every box that you want for the Lions, and I love his game as well. He is a top 15 prospect for me overall. He's not going to go that high. There are a lot of people who are still... I feel like this is a player where a lot of my fellow draft analysts, and and I respect all these guys, but I think a lot of them got caught in what he was in 2023 and 2022, which was a left guard who had some technique issues. His hands got a little bit wide, didn't always play with the best power, didn't always have the best field vision. Those things got better at guard in 2024 before he moved to tackle, and then obviously he was great at tackle. So he's one of the 5 that I would really love and be very happy if the Lions drafted him. Not the only one, and he's probably my favorite. Got to admit your favorites. Got to be honest about it. Next up, Donovan Ezeraku, edge, Boston College. Now, he is an interesting one for Detroit because he's a lot smaller than what they typically want. He's 6'2", 248. He played actually a little bit lighter than that. From what I understand from Boston College, he played in the 242, 244 range. That's James Houston sized. Now, aside from James Houston just not working out other than that spectacular run in his rookie season, some of it was the fact that the Lions decided they didn't want that kind of a pass rusher. Now, Ezraku's a little different. He does have power. He has a lot of length. He's got 34-inch arms. His arms are actually longer than just about everybody else's on my list here. I got linemen coming up. Power to speed, he can do it. Speed to power, he can do it. He can win inside. He can win outside. He's cognizant against the run. He's got great instincts for getting his hands up into the passing lanes, which is something that another guy that we're going to talk about has as well. Very smart, well-rounded football player. He comes from a good program that churns out guys that have high floors. Christian Mahogany? Yeah. I like Ezraku a lot. I don't love him, but I think in terms of where you're getting him at number 28, or if they have to move up a little bit to get him, and they might, and they could move up. That's something, we had Brad Holmes' press conference yesterday morning. I was there in Allen Park. I tried my best to get a question, and I did not. Unfortunately, I'm lower on the pecking order. That's how it goes. It's a good time, though. Brad said some things that I think we all expected him to say. But one of them was he laid out a hypothetical, talking. He was sort of clapping back at the media, and I don't blame him for doing it. Asking questions about edge all the time. And he's like, what if I had a guy who's 6'3" and 250, but he can't play football? Do I still need to take him because he's 6'3" and 250? Well, that's kind of what Ezraku is. And he can play football. And I think that answers the question better than if there's a guy who might have more ideal length than that or more ideal power than that. So I do think that the Lions have some interest in Ezraku. He's been mocked to them by a lot of people over the last few weeks. It makes sense. I like him. I like the fact that would indicate also that there's a bit of a stylistic change going on with the defense, and that they are not going to just try and crush the can as a pass rush. They're going to try to do more things than that. Maybe bring in some interesting, more dynamics, maybe some odd man fronts where Ezraku can stand up and line up far wide and come in and mix things up and do stunts and things like that. The odd man front with the defense, and specifically the linebacker core that they've got, very much intrigues me. And it's something that we did talk about after the press conference yesterday amongst ourselves in the media. And we're all kind of wondering if we're going to see more of that. And drafting Ezraku would be an indication that they are looking that way. And I like that. So he is certainly one. I know that they met with him at the Senior Bowl. Beyond that, I'm not sure. He's a smart kid. He fits the grit. Ezraku would be a fine one. Next up, Derek Harmon. Okay, he might be my favorite. No offense to Donovan Jackson, but I think Derek Harmon is a higher end player. I think he's better than Mason Graham. I rated him higher than Mason Graham, who I think is a high floor, low ceiling player relative to a lot of the other top defensive ends. I think Derek Harmon has a little bit lower of a floor because he did only really do it for 1 year. But man, what he did at Oregon, exactly what you want to see in the middle of the Detroit Lions defensive line. He can get instant pressure. He can hit gaps. He can anchor. He can bull. He can get outside of a gap and make a play in the run game. He's got good, quick eyes, just nonstop motor. I love the fact that he made himself into something. Look, he was at Michigan State, and Spartan fans, I have to tell you this, he was kind of underwhelming there. He lost some weight, got his attitude together, and saw that he had a chance to be part of something bigger and better and embraced it. I'm not sure that I would want him going to a team like Dallas or Las Vegas or New Orleans, who all pick a lot higher up, because I think he is a guy that does need to have some impetus to win around him and some organizational pressure, and as well as some support around him. But man, he's a good one. Love him at 28. I have mocked him several times. In terms of Lions interest that I can know of, I know they've talked to him twice. I know he went there. He's from Detroit. He was at the team facility last week. I don't have a great feel for how much they like him, but I know they're interested. Beyond that, no, we'll see. But he certainly is one that I would love to see at 28. And I do think that there's a pretty good chance he will be there. By the way, all these guys are like guys who are realistically expected to be available in that range. I'm not putting in guys like Jalen Walker, Nick Emenwari, Ted McMillan, who by the way, I don't think that the Lions would be all that interested in anyways, but just guys that I think can fit in that range. We're not going to put Will Campbell here. We're not going to put Mason Graham here. It's guys who generally are predicted to be in the 20s. And this is, it's tough. This is a tough year because everybody's got their own first round pick, and player number 10 for one person might be player number 50 for another person. And you can't really argue it because it's a giant cluster of people in that range. So we're going on the best here. Could these guys be gone? Yeah, sure. They could be. Next up, we'll go Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, Michigan. I just want to say I love Kenneth Grant's game. I think that for his size, he's about 340 pounds. He played at over 350 at times. He is ridiculously athletic. There's a picture of him in our database, and I'm going to try to load it up here so you can get it on the screen, where he's like leaping to block a field goal. And my God, he is like up in the air. Just an incredible athletic guy, and it translates to the field very nicely. He's a guy that can play the 1 tech. He can play the 0 tech. He can also play 3. He can move around that line a little bit. If he slims down into the 325 range, you're looking at a guy who's got similar style to what Aleem McNeil wins with. And Aleem, by the way, has lost some weight since he got to Detroit and gotten even more explosive. We're hoping that he'll be ready for mid-season. Fingers crossed. We need you, Aleem. We love you. But Grant, one thing with Grant, and I brought this up with Hazaraku earlier, Grant was the best player in this draft getting his hands into the passing lanes. Best defensive tackle anyways. He's got preternatural timing at doing it. He doesn't get him up early either. Like he's one of those guys, he's going for the volleyball block. And I love that as a volleyball enthusiast and former player before my body gave out. It happens. I'm a big Kenneth Grant fan. Again, I think he has a higher ceiling than Mason Graham, his more celebrated teammate. Graham's going top 10. Everybody seems to think he's going number 5 to Jacksonville. Who am I to argue? He did a workout in a Jaguars workout shirt, put it up on YouTube. They took it down very quickly, but I think that was a bit of a hand tip there. So that's one. And then the last one I'm going to get to, Malachi Starks. Yeah, the safety from Georgia. Yes, the Lions have the best safety tandem in the league already in Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. I don't care. You'll find a way to work Malachi Starks onto the field because if he is there at 28, he is the best player available. I don't care who else is there. He's the best player. He is much like Brian Branch was and much like Kyle Hamilton was. People are overthinking this guy. He is a spectacular football player, ridiculously high football IQ, work ethic, instincts, ability. He didn't run great, and he doesn't have super high-end speed. He doesn't have chase speed. But when you're not out of position, you don't need it. He's a spectacular football player. I would be thrilled to figure out what to do with 3 Pro Bowl caliber safeties. And we already got 2. We got an All-Pro. We got a Pro Bowler. Add Starks in. He could be better than the other 2 lines that are there right now. Play a 3 safety defense. I mean, because Branch can play corner, slot corner, because you can move Starks around, you can basically play Starks anywhere except single high. My God, man. The possibilities for Kelvin Shepard to use that behind a linebacking core and an upgraded pass rush. Also, and this is the part we don't like to talk about. Lions have to pay both Joseph and Branch. Each of them is going to cost well over $20 million a year. That's a crap ton of dollars to spend on safeties. Now, they're good. They're worth it. They've earned it. But if you're doing that, and you're paying Hutch, and you're paying all the other guys that you've already paid, and you still got to pay Jack Campbell and Sam Laporta and J-Mo and Gibbs, like, there's got to be a flex point somewhere. Starks is pretty good insurance in case you have to let one of your safeties walk in free agency because you have too many good players. Like, it's not anything that they would want to get rid of them. I certainly don't want to get rid of them, but there's going to be somebody that has to not get signed just because there's so many freaking good players. It's a fantastic problem to have. The Eagles have dealt with this. The Ravens have dealt with this. They've done a pretty good job of staying up there, even losing really good players. I think the Lions can too. Which one will they choose to let go? We'll find out together. But Starks, to me, my God, great player, great talent. All right. Now you get to the negative side, and it's unfortunate, and I'm going to take a little drink here while I'm taking this great Gatorade Zero here, not sponsored spot. I want you to think about what players you personally don't want the Lions to take at 28, because I have 3. I actually have 4, but I'm only going to list 3. So get those in your head and see if we match here. All right. You got names in your head? First one for me, James Pierce. Yeah, that's a cheat. I know. Lions aren't taking him. Got to put it in there anyways. I got to get one right? James Pierce, edge Tennessee, not cut from the Lions' cloth, does not fit the grit. There's a lot of work ethic questions. There's a lot of. It's not like he's a. How do you say this? I don't worry about him being like somebody who's going to get arrested or somebody who's going to do something stupid, but he's just not somebody that you trust being a great professional. And I think that came out a lot in a lot of the talks that we had. And we found this out at the Senior Bowl. Chris and I did when we were talking to a couple of players who had played against him. And they're like, yeah, like he's crazy. And like, can you elaborate? And they're like, no, he's just crazy. Like, and that sort of persisted through. Did not have a good combine interview from everything that I've heard. So James Pierce won. I don't think we have to worry about that one. Next up, Kelvin Banks. This is an interesting one because I don't think he should be available. Texas's left tackle, really good athlete. There's a couple of things with him. First off, I think he's a left tackle only. I don't want to pigeonhole that. I don't want a player that's that pigeonholed on the offensive line with this specific offensive line. I don't think he can play guard, even though a lot of people are insistent that he's going to be a guard. Look, the biggest problems that he has is a tackle. He's not physical enough and he plays too narrow. That's worse inside than at tackle. And the bigger problem is he's never gotten better at either of those his entire time at Texas. You might remember he got a lot of notoriety very early on because he when Texas played Alabama back when Will Anderson was there, he beat the hell out of Will Anderson. Like, Will Anderson's a damn good football player. He's never really gotten better. And I worry about that. Look, he's a very good football player. He deservedly belongs in the first round conversation for a lot of teams that are above Detroit. And they might take him. If they don't, he's one that I hope that the Lions pass on. Just, again, we don't specifically need a left tackle. I'm using the colloquial we there, like I'm part of the team. I'm not. Fans do that. It's hard. We love our team. We love our Lions. That's right. But I digress. He's just one that I'm just not feeling it. And then the last one, Landon Jackson. Edge, Arkansas, and holy crap, does he fit what the Lions want. The crush the can guy, super long arms, power to speed, great base strength, tremendous anchor, very high motor. So why don't I want him? Dude is not athletic. Look, I know you can fax me your RAS sheets of how great of an athlete he was. Watch him on the field. It doesn't translate. What he did at the combine, that's not the same guy we saw on the field consistently. I've used the line and I'll use it again. And I feel bad saying it because it's kind of condescending, but there's no twitch to this guy. Like, he wouldn't have twitch if he was being tased. Like, there's just not there. And one of the things that I did, and I believe we talked about this on one of the last videos that Chris and I did, during the Senior Bowl week, shout out to the Senior Bowl, I went down to the end where the defensive linemen were working on a position drill. And it's kind of a bag drill with a hoop drill. You've seen those at the combine. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. He was just so stiff and slow and had to put his hand down to corner. Like, there were a lot of things in that showed me that he doesn't have the ability to do anything other than plow through people at the NFL level. Now, can he do that? Yes, he can. I have seen this guy before. Quentin Coples, former Jets draft pick, wound up being a serviceable NFL player for a little while. I want more than that at 28. If Landon Jackson's there at 60, you take him, I'm good. You take him at 28, I'm not happy. So that's where we're at with that. Let's wrap this. Y'all, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe so you know when we're doing more of this. The draft's coming up. It's going to be a great week. Hope you all enjoy it, and go.